Hey guys, what's up? It's me36 here, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on the Town of Salem. Town of Salem is exactly like a game called Mafia, and it is basically a stolen idea in some sense. However, that does not mean it is a very fun game and very good development so far. It is currently in Kickstarter or beta and may have some problems, but it is very fun nonetheless. Now, a lot of people have been complaining about how to play, how to do things, and so I have decided to do a tutorial on how to play Town of Salem. If you look to the left of the play button, you will see two buttons called Help and Roles. They have a question mark and a card mark. And if you click on those buttons, they will send you to a website that has lots of information that will definitely help you if you do not understand this video. Other than those two buttons, you do have the news on the side that will tell you some information and give you some other ideas such as forums. At the bottom right, we have the friends and notifications, which are messages and things you can use to communicate to other players. On the left side, we have the customizations, which is shop, achievements, and yourself with some cool things. And on the right, we just have featured items. In the middle, we have the play button, which is very useful. You will be doing most of your gameplay using that button. Now, Town of Salem consists of 5 different game modes. We have Classic, which has a classic 15 roles, and there are not going to be any random roles really. You'll be able to specify exactly what role somebody plays, depending on who they are, and it is very beginnerish, noobish kind of like Team Deathmatch in Call of Duty or Halo. Below that is Custom, where you personally get to decide on your role, and it is very useful in deciding what you want to be and what you're good at, and this is probably one of the most competitive types, really. Below that is All Any, and with All Any, you have a list of a random role. You can be anything from any different type of role. It does not matter. This allows for people to use intelligence and to figure some stuff out. It usually leads to more confusing types, and it is not balanced at all. You can have 7 mafia members, you could have 90% town, you could have no serial killers, you could have no witches or arsonists or anything. It is not balanced, so do not complain about that. It is not going to be balanced usually. Below that we have rapid mode, which is essentially custom, but instead we have it rapidized or faster, with faster discussion and night phases. Below that is Vigilantics, which is Vigilante versus Witch, and it is very chaotic. If you understand the two roles, then you will understand why it is chaotic, and it usually leads to short game matches. Now, when you click on one of the modes, you will be brought to a screen. In the top left of the screen, you will have a list of the players and the host who is in the game, essentially. That is very helpful in determining who is in the game, really. And in the bottom left, we have a chat box. This is filled with your actual usernames, and you can talk to people through their usernames, not like randomly created names. Now, if you go to the top right, you should have a list of the roles people will participate in, and this, in a classic sense, this will be a specified 15 roles which cannot be changed. In custom or rapid, however, you will have different roles that you could choose from, and you'll have a lot of things below that, and you can choose. It's very random. When you are the host, you will be able to click on Start to start the game, and if the host is not you, but the host is not active, you can go into the chat box and click, say, /repick, and it will repick host. When the game is started, you have about 45 seconds to choose a name on your own whim. This can be anything, any name at all that is less than 16 characters. It could be Naruto, Potato, John Smith, Betty Crocker, God, Jesus. A lot of people have used random names. Usually, you do not want to use a name that is relevant to your own name, as people will be able to identify who you are easier that way, and that is typically not the reason they use this. In the bottom left, you have the chat box, and in that chat box, you can talk to people using their actual customized names. After 45 seconds, you will be directed into the game, where in the center you will have all of the people of the town gathered up into a single circle, which they will talk about and meet about doing things. On the left, we have the graveyard, which will allow us to identify who is dead, what their roles are, what they have in their will, and who wrote their death note, and what is contained in it. It allows for very accessible knowledge from everybody in the town, and is very useful usually when you die. To the right of that is roles, which is every single person's role. This can be any type of role or the classic customized roles from the classic mode. Below that is a chat box which will allow you to whisper, to vote, to talk to other people. It will allow access to everything from talking to anybody in the game. Up in the right corner will be you and your role and your abilities, your attributes, and your goal and how to succeed. This is very helpful and you'll be able to learn what you need to do for your role. Below that is going to be the characters to tell you all of the characters in the game, and it will also allow you to vote for them or select your knight ability on when you have it. At the top you will have a will, chat box, death note, and possibly a button for your ability. Your will can be basically your notes, whatever, or just what you are doing. If you are certain roles, you will want to put information in your will to include things that are very important if you were to die. The chat box will allow you to go back and see what other people have written, confirm things, and just get a better grasp if you missed some stuff. Death note is only for if you have killed people, and it will be displayed when you kill that person. And the ability will be accessible only when certain roles are unlocked, such as the medium or the jailer. Now on to roles. Next are the roles, which are the most important part of the Town of Salem game. Town of Salem has 29 current roles separated into 3 categories: Town, Mafia, or Neutrals. Starting with the Town roles, which are most common, we have a doctor which heals 1 person per night and can self-heal 1 time. This is a very important role and can heal people that are very important when they are identified. The escort will escort 1 person per night and distract them, basically allowing them to not use their ability. This is going to be very important for serial killers or mafia or some other evil people. The investigator will investigate a person each night and will reveal a hint about them, such as them being of great authority. That means they are either godfather or mayor. It does not specify the role, however, using logic, one can usually identify their role, and this is very useful. Next is the jailer, which is a very important town role. The jailer will jail somebody and can possibly kill them. When the person is jailed, they cannot do their ability and they cannot die from another source, such as a serial killer. However, if a serial killer or godfather is jailed, they will kill the jailer if the jailer does not execute them. Lookout allows for a person to look out at one person and see who visits them. This is going to be very useful when identifying people who have killed another person. We also have the medium, which allows the medium to speak to dead people every single night they are alive. When they are dead, they can seance or allow them to talk to a living person and reveal all the information that they have gathered. The sheriff is one of the most important roles in the fact that they can check for suspicious activity each night. This does identify for neutral characters as well, depending on their role, and also for mafia. However, they cannot tell a godfather if he is a godfather. That is one thing that is a con of the sheriff. A transporter will transport 2 people and change their roles, basically. Not exactly their roles, but their attacks. If target A is attacked, but he was transported with target B, then target B will be attacked and instead killed. Now on to the Mafia. The Mafia has a lot of roles which are very important. One being the Godfather, who is the leader of every single Mafia. He commands everybody to kill people, and he is very powerful. He cannot be killed at night, and he orders the mafioso to kill somebody. His will outrules the mafiosos. The mafioso is a natural person or natural mafia who kills other people. There must always be a single mafioso, and that mafioso sometimes, or most times in classic at least, will become a godfather if there is no godfather. The typical other mafia is the flamer, who will flame one person each night, and if somebody looks at that person, then they will typically be suspected of being evil if somebody had actually died that night. Some other ones are disguiser, consort, concierge, blackmailer, and janitor. Disguiser disguises one person when he dies and is very useful, very useful, and typically ruins other players. Consort distracts somebody each night, much like the escort. Concierge is like inspector, who inspects one person for their exact role, not a general idea, their exact role each night. Blackmailer is very important in that he blackmails a single person. That person cannot talk at all the next night and is very important. They can however vote, and people typically find out how people are blackmailed because they spam vote. Janitor is also very useful as they clean up a person who has died. They remove the will, possibly the death note, and even their role, so those things cannot be identified. Some neutral roles are the arsonist, who douses people in gasoline and will ignite them, eventually killing them. Next we have the jester, whose goal is to have the town lynch him into killing him, and from the grave he can then kill somebody who had voted against him and kill them when they are still alive. So this role is very powerful in the fact that he wants to die and wants to be lynched. People can usually identify a jester who is usually wanting to be killed, so this is a very difficult role to use. The executioner, however, will try to get another person to be lynched, and if they succeed, they will have become accomplished and will win when the game is completed. However, say their target is killed but not lynched, they will then become a jester and have the same abilities of a jester. There is the serial killer, which is one of the more formidable opponents. He will try to kill a single person each night. He cannot be killed at night as well. He is typically a rival to the Godfather, and they are usually on equal terms. Another one, not in classic but very important, is the witch. The witch will control somebody each night and choose for them to have used their ability on another person. For example, if a witch tried to get an investigator to investigate somebody else, he would investigate that person and understand the roles. However, the investigator would not know who they are investigating, but simply that there is a role like that. The person knows they are being controlled and cannot do whatever they want. The witch, however, does not know what the person they controlled does and what effect they have. Usually the witch will try to get a mafioso or a serial killer to kill other people for them, which is typically the same thing as a serial killer would do. Other than that, there are a few more roles which I have not specified in more specifics to each single role other for the game. I would suggest playing the game and getting more experience. You will understand how to play the game the more you play, and it will become very fun. So keep on playing and keep on trying. Use your intelligence, common sense, logic, and keep on playing. You will get better, and it will become very fun. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Flameo326, and I hope you enjoyed Town of Salem. Now that you should understand. Again, if you do not understand, you can always go to the 3 links that I have suggested in the video,